This smells exactly like this, except this is $29 and this is $155. Hi guys, it's Ksenia. Welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I am finally reviewing Dossier perfumes. So pretty much ever since I started reviewing perfumes and just talking about perfumes on my channel, I have gotten comments on almost all of my videos asking me to review this company because they are a really popular company and they've become more and more popular. I feel like you constantly see them on TikTok, constantly on YouTube, Instagram. A lot of people work with them, and you guys have actually personally told me that you have a ton of Dossier perfumes that you love and that I should try them and kind of give my 2 cents on them. So when they reached out to me, I knew this collab had to happen. So I'm super happy to say that today's video is sponsored by Dossier Perfumes, and a huge thank you to them for reaching out to me because I have been so curious about this company for the longest time. So in case you've been living under a rock, a little bit of background on Dossier. They reproduce classic high-end luxury scents at a fraction of the cost while maintaining the exact same scent, the exact same quality, just without the high-end brand that's attached to a lot of perfumes, which is honestly a big reason why a lot of high-end perfumes have the price point that they do, is just because of the name. And something special about them that a lot of companies don't do, they have this risk-free system going on where you could order up to 5 scents at a time and you can try out each of those fragrances before you actually make a commitment to them, and whichever bottles you choose not to keep, you can send back to them, no questions asked. You have a 30-day period where you can send back any perfume unsealed and you will get a full refund for it. And when I say super affordable, these perfumes range from $29 to $59, so they don't even go close to $100. All of them are actually under $60. That is a little bit of background on Dossier. If you guys choose to buy any of the fragrances that I mentioned in this video, or they have so many more on their website, so go on over there and check out what they have. And if you do end up liking anything, you can use my code Ksenia10 for 10% off at checkout. Without further ado, before we get into this video, please make sure that you are subscribed to my channel and turn your post notifications on, and let's get started. I always drink coffee either when I'm filming or right before I film, and I always get comments in my comments telling me like, are you okay? Like, you sound really out of breath. And that's because I am. Coffee gives me major anxiety and shortness of breath because I'm like super jittery. So although I love it, it does not love me. If I'm ever like super jittery in a video or I'm like trying to catch my breath, it's usually because I have a cup of coffee right next to me. Alright, so when you get your Dossier perfumes, they will come in a box like this. Oh, I forgot to mention, Dossier is actually now at Walmart, so in case you are somebody like me that doesn't always love to order online, you can now find them in stores. When you do get your fragrance, it'll come in a little cardboard box like this, and I love that they give you a little card. Now, this little card will tell you the name of the perfume that you got, it'll tell you the notes that are in it, it'll tell you what perfume it's inspired by, and just basically all you need to know about the fragrance. So the first perfume I'm gonna review is called Floral Berries. This perfume is inspired by Jo Malone's Peony and Blush Suede, which I feel like is one of Jo Malone's most famous perfumes. Now, funny story, you guys are going to be seeing this in an upcoming perfume haul, but I actually ended up buying this perfume because I love this perfume so much, and my mom even smelled it, and I had her smell both of these and she was like, they are literally identical. So I will actually be giving this perfume to my mom because she is obsessed with it, and I'm gonna keep this guy. They are, when I tell you, like, there is no difference. There is literally not a single difference. I've mentioned in previous videos, but a lot of the times when perfumes are supposed to be inspired by each other, obviously they'll be very similar, but there's usually like a few little details that I'll pick up on. Especially now that I'm so familiar with perfumes and notes, I feel like I'm really good at detecting even like really small little details. With these two, I cannot detect a singular difference. They smell identical. Now, something about this perfume is that this guy actually kind of outperforms Peony and Blush Suede. One thing about Jo Malone fragrances, they're higher up in price than your typical designer. They're about $155, which is definitely up there. And for a perfume to be that expensive and for it to not perform that great is such a shame, because like, you're giving a perfume that price point, it better give me everything. It lasts about 4 to 5 hours. And that's if you really, really overspray it, which sucks. Like, if I'm paying that kind of price point, I expect it to last me like 17 days. A lot of Jo Malone fragrances, and the reason why I've held off on smelling them for so long is because I feel like most of them are on the fresher side. And when I read the notes of this and I smelled it, this is actually a really sweet fragrance. I don't want to say really sweet because it's not offensive, but there's sweetness to it for sure. So this has top notes of peony, red apple, and berries, middle notes of rose, carnation, and jasmine, and base notes of suede accord and musk. So judging from those notes, I'm loving everything. The peony, the red apple, the berries, like those top notes, I love every single one of those. And then you get that jasmine, which I also really love. I very slightly detect the rose in it, which is a good thing for me. And then the sort of suede aspect is definitely there, and I feel like it's what gives the fragrance more of like an elevated feel. It makes it just smell really expensive. This smells like a rich woman, but like old money. I loved it so much so that I went and bought this guy. So this will be going to my mom because she also loved it. If you want a cheaper version of Jo Malone Peony and Blush Suede, definitely check out Floral Berries. And the crazy thing about it, it is $29. $29 compared to $155. Okay, moving on to the next scent. I love these little notes so much. I wish every single perfume came with something like this, because especially for somebody that reviews perfumes, this makes it so easy. It's all into this little card, everything that you need to know. This scent is called Floral Pink Pepper, and this is inspired by Miss Dior Cherry, the 2017 version by Dior. When I saw that they had this perfume on their website, this was like my #1 scent that I had to get out of this entire video. Like, if they could only send me one perfume, I feel like it would have been this one, because this perfume has been on my perfume list. It's been on my radar for a really, really long time, and I believe this perfume has been discontinued for a while. I have never been able to find it, and when I saw that they had this on their website, it was like an immediate yes. So this perfume has top notes of bergamot, lychee, orange, middle notes of rose, jasmine, and pink pepper, and base notes of patchouli, blonde woods, and vanilla. So that just sounds like the most feminine, sweet, sexy fragrance ever, and that's exactly what this perfume is. I cannot get enough of how good this perfume is. This is one of the sexiest perfumes ever. If Lolita Lampica and Paco Rabanne Pure Excess had a baby, it would be this, just minus that very strong popcorn note that is in Pure Excess, which is actually funny because there is actually a popcorn note, not in this one, but popcorn is actually in the notes of the Miss Dior Cherry perfume, which is kind of crazy. Yet, even though there's no popcorn listed in the notes of this, I can kind of smell a hint of it, but it is exactly what I wished Pure Excess from Paco Rabanne would have been, because you guys know, oh, by the way, if you saw my declutter video where I mentioned that that perfume was gonna be decluttered out of my collection and I was gonna list it on my Mercari, I never did, because I kept smelling it after that point and I was like, no, I actually really like this, like I don't want to part ways with it. And then I had actually sprayed it on during that video, and my husband came up to me, he was like, you smell really good. So I was like, okay, I can't get rid of it now. So it's still up there in my collection. But this perfume is exactly what I wish that perfume was, because I love Pure Excess. I just feel like the popcorn note in it is a little too much. And in here, there's like this like uniqueness, but it's so sweet. It's really smooth. Everything is blended to perfection. It smells so sexy. And it's literally as if Lolita Lampica and Paco Rabanne Pure Excess had a baby. But like the most beautiful little baby ever. That's this. This is gonna be like a go-to for me because it is everything I love in perfumes. And now I don't need to like go crazy about getting the Miss Dior Cherry perfume because I have it. And judging by like the striking similarity between Floral Berries and this Peony and Blush scent, and also I've tried Dossier perfumes in the past before I was even working with them, and I've had the originals. They are literally like 100% the same. So I have no doubt that this one also smells exactly like the original. So I am So happy to have this in my collection. If you love sweet, sexy fragrances, this is gonna be the one for you. This perfume I had to have kind of back in my collection because I used to have the original version, the perfume that this is inspired by, and then I gave it away because I wasn't using it too much. I found that it actually didn't really last on my body. So when I saw that they had this perfume on their website, I was really curious to get it and see if it was gonna smell the same but last a little longer. And that's exactly what I got out of it. So this perfume is called Musky Musk. Musky Musk is inspired by Juliet Has a Gun, Not a Perfume. So you guys might remember if you've watched my channel since then, I actually did like a full Juliet Has a Gun brand review. I go through almost all of the Juliet Has a Gun perfumes in that video. So if you want to check that out and a little bit of like background and facts about the brand, go check out that video. I'll link it up here. But I got the full size of Not a Perfume and I loved it. The scent was great. It's one of those perfumes that's supposed to like adapt with your natural chemistry. There's only like one note in it and it's ambergris. And I really loved it on my skin. But after a while, I found that it kind of turned a little smoky, which is really weird. And that I did not like, which is why I decluttered it. So I was really curious about this scent because if this scent gave me what I got in the beginning from that fragrance, without the smoky feel and with a little bit better of a longevity, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna love that. And that's exactly what it is. So this actually has no top notes. The middle notes are Cetylox, ISOE Super, with base notes of habanolide and musks. So a lot of sort of chemically type of molecule ingredients that are in here, not actual, you know, perfume notes like what you would find in other perfumes, like fruity notes, like not actual notes, if that makes sense. Which is why Not a Perfume is called Not a Perfume in the first place, is because it's technically not, because it's not composed of the type of thing that normal perfumes are composed of. Same with Musky Musk. And let me just say, this perfume is spot on to Not a Perfume, but it does not smell smoky on me. It does so well on my skin, and you're gonna have to cut me some slack on describing this fragrance because this fragrance is indescribable. Literally indescribable. I don't know. I mean, I could say it's fresh, but like I don't know what else to say. And it's a compliment getter. A lot of people really love these more inoffensive scents. This is a really great scent if you are allergic to perfumes or you know somebody that is allergic to perfumes. If you work in an office setting, this will be a great gym scent. If you just saw my last video, which was my gym perfumes video, I feel like this will be an amazing gym scent. Because another thing about musky scents like this and ambergris type of scents or ISOE Super, they do so good when you're sweating, because when it's mixed with your BO, it makes your BO smell good, which is exactly what you want when you're working out. So I'm so glad to have this back in my collection, but like a better version of it. I'm loving on Dossier. These fragrances are so spot on. It is like one of the best inspired companies that I have ever really come across, so I'm loving on them. Next fragrance, this is Fruity Honey. So Fruity Honey is inspired by Jo Malone's Nectarine Blossom and Honey. I really wanted to try out a lot of Jo Malone fragrances through this house because, like I said, I've never been able to commit to buying a full-size Jo Malone fragrance up until this one because I smelled their version of it and I fell in love. But I just felt like most of their scents were really, really fresh. So I wanted to try out their version and see if I really loved them. So Fruity Honey has top notes of blackcurrant, green leaves, middle notes of honey and nectarine, with base notes of peach and vetiver. So the notes sounded really good to me on this one. There's a lot of fruity notes in it. And sweeter notes, but not sweet notes in the sense of like vanilla or those type of sweet notes. The sweetness in here really comes from those fruits like the blackcurrant. Then you get honey, which I know is not a fruit, but you know, it's sweet. And then nectarine. Then you get peach. So just a lot of like juicy sweet fruits in it, and then mixed with that honey and the vetiver and green leaves, which it's basically like a green smelling fruity fragrance. It's very fresh. I feel like it's the most fresh fragrance out of this entire video. My mom freaking loved this one, and as soon as I smelled it, I already knew. I'm like, this will be a scent my mom would absolutely go crazy for because It's fruity, it's fresh, it's inoffensive. If you love those fragrances, this is the perfect scent for you. For me personally, although yes, the scent is really, really nice, it's not personally in my scent taste, because although I really love fresh fragrances, this one is a little bit too fresh and soft for me. Like, I like the stronger scents. I like the offensive scents. So if you're somebody that is like my mom and likes fresher, more softer scents, this would be a perfect scent for you. So as good as this smells, I think I'm gonna have to give this to my mom, just because I personally feel like I wouldn't get too much use out of it. This next scent has been a scent that I've wanted to get this scent for a while. I know what it smells like. I've smelled it so many times, like the testers. Every time I go into a Sephora, I douse myself in it, but I've never been able to commit, and I don't know why. I've liked the scent, but I guess I never wore it too much to really be like, oh my god, yes, I need to have this. So when I saw that they had a version of it on their website, I knew I had to have it, because at least now I have some form of the scent without committing to the high price point of the original one. This is Woody Tobacco, and this is inspired by Maison Margiela Replica Jazz Club. It's so weird with these fragrances because this smells like a jazz club. And I've never even been to a jazz club, but I love jazz music. Like, it puts me in such a soothing mood. It really eases me. I don't know how to explain it, but I love jazz music. And when I smell this, it kind of gives me those vibes, but like, you know how scents give you memories and feelings? That's what this gives me. Like, it kind of puts me at ease, even though it is a stronger fragrance. The top notes in Woody Tobacco are lemon, pink pepper, and neroli. Middle notes of rum, dry fruits, and blonde woods. And base notes of styrax, tobacco leaves, and vanilla. This smells so good. It definitely smells exactly like Jazz Club, but I feel like this smells better to me. I genuinely feel like this smells better. It's better blended, in my opinion. Like, the tobacco and the like smoky note that you would assume this would smell like, because there's tobacco in it, I get that, but it's perfectly blended where it's not standing out. And I feel like the problem with Jazz Club for me when I would put it on my skin is that it would turn all smoky on my skin. And this is not. Like, I'm getting this amazing, sweet, kind of woody, deep, mysterious sort of vibe. Definitely gives me these like cozy jazz vibe. It is so hard to describe, but I'll tell you, it is like a dark, sensual, sexy scent that has this like dark mysteriousness to it. It's sweet, but it also has this sort of, I don't know, some type of spice in it. I guess the tobacco leaves, maybe, I don't know. It's a little bit boozy because it does have that rum, and I am loving it for like a date night, or if you're going to the club, this will get you compliments. Right, and then the last scent, I am super excited about this one. This is another scent that I've wanted for a really long time. I just haven't been able to commit to the price point, because the price point of the perfume that this is inspired by is insanity. I've also heard that the original barely lasts, so I'm like, why would I pay over $300? I think it actually might even be more than $300, which is insane. That's a mortgage. Well, actually not in these days. It's probably the price of eggs in these days, honestly. It's too much. The original is too much. I've heard bad things about the longevity of it, so I'm like, why would I pay that kind of money when I could just get it in this form that is so much cheaper but smells exactly the same? And I have smelled the original of this, so I can confirm exactly the same. This is Ambery Cherry, and obviously from that name, maybe you can put two and two together. This is inspired by Tom Ford's Lost Cherry. So Ambery Cherry has top notes of cherry, almond, and cinnamon, middle notes of cloves, rose, jasmine, and plum, and base notes of Peru balsam, tonka bean, and vanilla. Those notes sound amazing, and this perfume is amazing. If you like cherry perfumes or just the scent of cherry in general, you would love this, but it is so much more than just a cherry scent. I'm just saying that because cherry is definitely a dominant scent in this perfume, for sure. It's so strong when it opens up that cherry. The key notes that I get out of this perfume are definitely cherry and almond, definitely tonka bean, and definitely vanilla, because it is very sweet. It's like a sweet, deep, but dark cherry. It's not gonna be like that fresh, summery, juicy cherry. No, it's like this dark cherry, very mysterious. Again, like a perfect date night sort of a vibe if you're going out for dinner or something like that. Like, I definitely see this more of like a nighttime scent. It's not gonna be your juicy, bubbly, everyday daytime scent. It's sexy, it's seductive. It's everything that I love in fragrances. It has amazing lasting power. I wore this yesterday all day. It lasted me like what an average perfume would normally last, so about like 6 to 8 hours, which I find is a good performance in a perfume. And I've actually sprayed Tom Ford's Lost Cherry on me before, like at the store. I've sprayed it all over me because like I said, I really love the scent. And after like 2 hours, Lost Cherry was lost. She was nowhere to be found on me. The scent would just completely evaporate from my body. And for an over $300 perfume, that is pure disappointment. Like, I don't even know how you could put that price point on a scent that does not last more than 2 hours. No hate to Tom Ford. Very unique fragrances, and if they last on you, that's amazing. But it doesn't for me. So the fact that I could get it for a fraction of the cost, the smell is just as good, it lasts even longer, then why would you ever pick that one over this? Like, I don't get it. I love this. This is another one that's gonna become like my go-to scent. So that completes today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I have gotten so many requests to review Dossier, so I'm so happy that they reached out to me and that I'm finally working with them. They've been a company that I've wanted to work with for a while, so I'm super excited this video is happening right now. Thank you again to Dossier for sponsoring today's video and for sending me these amazing perfumes. If you guys liked any of the perfumes that I showed here, if you want to check out all of their many more fragrances that they have on their website, go and check them out. If you end up liking anything, use my code Xenia10 for 10% off. Let me know in the comments of this video what your favorite Dossier perfume is, and I will look into that. And let me know if you want me to keep these Dossier perfume videos going so I could let the brand know if you guys want me to review more of their scents. But that is it for me today. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!